What does this tie in with the holy days of Israel? Everything seemingly centers around Israel.
Yes. Yeah. Well, amazing. I mean, God, amazing thing. We're talking right now, as we're recording this, it's Passover. And I mean, it's the week, Passover goes for more than a week.
Yeah.
And the thing is, amazing thing that this plague has reached its peak during this Passover time. And what is Passover? Passover is the people of God, the people of the nation are commanded to go into their homes and stay in their homes by command because a plague is passing through the land. I mean, when has this ever happened before? Only in Egypt, and in Egypt, the Jewish people were commanded to stay in their homes and to a lockdown. The first lockdown was in Egypt, and because of a plague passing through the land. Well, for the first time in over 3,000 years that the Jewish people were commanded by their government to be locked down in their houses, and it was on the eve of Passover, and it wasn't because it was Passover, it's because there was a plague passing over. So Benjamin Netanyahu commands, because during Purim they had social events, he said, not again. So Passover, they were commanded, starting with the beginning of Passover, to stay in their homes because an actual plague was passing over the land. I mean, and that wasn't it wasn't just Israel. It was all over the entire earth. The entire earth was under a cosmic global Passover. I mean, talk about the reality of our God. Talk about the reality of the God of the Bible. The entire Passover, it was replayed. And so that tells us a lot. This is gigantic, because what it tells you is what's the ultimate purpose of this? Well, what was the purpose of Passover? Why did the plague come over them? One, it was to separate God's people from the world. It was to separate the Hebrews from Egypt. So the first thing that this is doing is to separate God's people from the world. Secondly, it was to separate God's people from the Hebrews from their attachments to Egypt. Once they went in the house, their attachments are over. Their slavery is over. So God wants to use this to separate his people from their attachments to the world. And he separated the Hebrews from bondage. So God wants to use this to separate us from our bondages. Whatever that is, he wants us to be free. Why else did the Passover come? Did the plague come on the land? To awaken his people and to remind them that they were not home in Egypt. Their kingdom was another kingdom. Their kingdom was the promised land. So this is to remind us also, we are not of this world. We are not at home in this world. We are of a better kingdom. And why else did the plague pass over the land? It was to emphasize the power of the blood of the Lamb, that the blood of the Lamb is more powerful than the plague of the world. So what's he telling us as God's people? That the blood of the Lamb, the blood of Messiah, is more powerful than the plague of the world. And your thing is, you just want to be under that blood. You want to make sure you're in the kingdom. You are in your house right now, just like Passover. A plague is passing over the land, but you've got the blood of the Lamb in your life. And so as long as you're in his will, as long as you're in him, you don't have to fear any evil. I will fear no evil. Even though the plague passes over, I will not fear it. I will not fear the plague by night or by day, because I am in the blood of the Lamb. And the other thing is, what did Passover do? What did that plague do? It caused the people of God to rise up, be free of the world, be free of Egypt, be free of their chains, and become from a slave people, become the royal priesthood of God, and start going home, entering the promised land, the promises of God. So God wants to use this. People are saying, the main thing is just the plague stops. No, it's not. The main thing is that God's purposes be accomplished for the world, for revival, and also for his people. And the other thing is, what happened in Passover? People rushed to be under the blood of the Lamb. Well, we're praying that God will use this plague and this shaking and any other shaking of this year, that he will use it to cause the unsaved to rush and come under the blood of the Lamb.